change. You just buzzed the front gate. Thank God you came. How many more days could I wait?
Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Lauren Haven here at the Nail Haven, and today we're going to be doing this beautiful fallish brown and tan nail design. Y'all, when I tell y'all I tried this design on live and fell in love and immediately was like, yes, gotta record a YouTube video for it. So before we get too deep into it, these are going to be my nails. These are not for a customer, so you will see me trying the nails on throughout the video. Anyway, I'm going to go in with my double-sided tape, and I'm just trying to figure out which hand this was for because I had already did one hand, but I couldn't remember what hand this was for, so I had to make sure I was sizing the right hand. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead, take my double-sided sticky tape, take my nails, and stick them to the stands. People always ask, do I prefer the tape over the putty? And I prefer the tape 1000%. No ifs, ands, buts about it. No questions. I promise you. That tape, you will, once you start using that tape, you won't go back, in my personal opinion. But yeah, so I'm just putting the nails onto the stands and getting them in the right places, and yeah. I will say that this will be a mixture between a voiceover and a watch me work because the design is just, it's the same thing on each finger, just different swirls. I'm going to kind of just explain me doing how to do one of them, and then I'm going to let y'all watch me do all of the rest of them. But yeah, so once I got them on the stands, I'm going to go ahead and take my files and start buffing the surface of the nails. I use an old 80 grit file to buff. You can use a buffer, you can use a 100 grit file. That's just what I use.
Now and we're working on, and that's why I need all the energy that you bring to me. My last girl would tear me apart, but she never wanna split a thing with me. But when it comes to you, I think I'd lie for you. I think I'd die for you. Do things when you want me to, like controller, yeah, like controller.
So after I go in and use my 80 grit file to rough up the nails, I'm going to take my 240 grit or 60 grit. I honestly don't know. I think I'll be buying them both. I'm not sure, but I'm going to take my buffer and just smooth out some of those rough edges because they're a bit too rough. But I do want to create texture on the nail, and I feel like my file creates more texture than the buffer. Hey, I know some people that don't even buff at all, but I'm going to go in, buff them, and then dust off all of the excess dust. And then we're going to go in with our base coat. So after we go in with that base coat, I'm going to go in with 2 layers of builder gel. Now for my longer lengths, from my long to extra long to XL, I do 2 layers of builder gel. For my medium and shorter, I do 1 layer. I like to do 2 layers just because I want to make sure that these nails are nice and sturdy. 1 layer can also be enough. I've done sets with 1 layer and they were perfectly fine. But recently I decided that I'm going to start doing 2 layers just to ensure that that strength in that nail is there. Okay, so I'm going with 2 layers of that. If you use builder gel and you're having problems with the builder gel maybe becoming bulky on the sides or whatever, try holding the nails upside down, which you might see me do it in the video. But after you apply the builder gel, try holding the nails upside down. When you do this, it'll force the builder gel to go towards the middle of the nail instead of the side walls. You can also try going in with a clean brush, so wiping all of the excess builder gel off of your brush and then going in and wiping those sides off, which once again you might see me in the video. It really depends on the type of application I apply. So if I apply way too much, you'll see me do that. If I don't and I apply the right amount, you might just see me hold it upside down. It just depends. But I'm going to go in with that second layer, and I do like to apply most of it at the cuticle area so that it does not run off the nails. So
every time I hit that spot, but it's all like leather, but the top is hard. Whisper your pleasures and I'll do my job. Freaking rating, intense, girl, let me do what I do. I don't know what's echoing louder, the music or you. I ain't close to being done yet. You're getting real warm, like the calm of the thunder, right after the storm.
All right, now that we've done 2 layers of our builder gel, we're gonna go in with this color 1628 by Goy. I'll make sure to link it down below. It's a jelly brown color, so you will see me going with 3 layers because I want to build up that color, but I still want it to be jelly. I don't want it to be opaque, but I want it to be a deeper jelly polish. If that makes sense. If it don't, you'll see what I mean as I do all 3 layers. So I'm gonna just, go in with my first layer, cure that for 60 seconds, go on my second layer, cure for 60 seconds, then go on my last layer and cure for 60 seconds. So I'll let y'all watch me do that. And if y'all have any questions, any type of content y'all want to see, make sure y'all drop that down below, because outside of tutorials, I don't be knowing what else to film. But hey, if you got anything you want to see, drop it in the comment section below. Alright, y'all, so once we finish our last layer of brown, we're going to cure that for 60 seconds, and then we're going to go in with a top coat. Make sure that the top coat that you're using does not advertise itself as stain resistant. I'm using the Beetles in the regular black bottle, so I'm guessing the original formula. They also have a top coat in a white bottle. However, the top coat in the white bottle does claim to be stain resistant, which it is, because I did a review on it on TikTok. And for this design, it will not work if you try to do it over a top coat like that, because the polish will just start to kind of separate. If you ever put something on a stain resistant surface, you should know what I'm talking about. If not, look it up or just try the design yourself. So I would definitely recommend getting a top coat that does not advertise to be that, or like I said, the polish will start to separate and it won't actually stay in place like you need it to. So I'm going to put a nice little thick layer of this top coat down, and then after we do our layer, we're going to put it in the lamp for 60 seconds and fully cure it. I think I cured it for longer than 60 seconds though, but you want to put it in that lamp and make sure it's nice and cured. So then I'm going to take my 80 grit file and I'm going to file the tips of the nails. Now, usually I do this at the end of my nail process because I like a sharp design, but because the design that we're doing is going over the top coat, and I don't want to over design, so I'm going to file so that I know how much space I have on the nail, so that if I did have to file after, it's not much product that I'm filing off, if that makes sense. Okay, so we went ahead and filed all of the nails. We're going to dust them off. And I'm going to get this brown gel polish. It's just like a tannish brown color. It is from one of those small Beatles collections. So I don't know like the actual color name or a bigger version of this polish. But we're just going to put that down onto my palette. And then after that, we're going to wipe off the nails because after filing, I noticed that my fingerprints were on the nails, so I'm just going to wipe them off with some acetone to remove that, which you'll see me doing here, and then we'll get straight into the nail design. Alright, y'all, so I'm going in with this tan polish that I got from Beatles. I don't have an exact link to it because it came in a collection, but we're going to take my 20 or 25 milliliter liner brush. And so explaining the design is kind of hard because you're really just going in with a lot of swirls, loops, hoops, dupes, whatever else. So, but yeah, for this first one, I just went in and kind of did like this little magnifying glass. It kind of looks like a magnifying glass, but went in, did that. And if I'm gonna do like one of these circle pieces, I don't know what to call them, y'all. We just gonna call them magnifying glasses. If I decide to do one of those, I'm gonna do it first and then kind of base the rest of the design off of that. But I'm just going in, filling that in with my gel polish, and you want to make sure not to cure in between each line, so be very careful. I did speed this video up ×2, so it may look like I'm moving fast or it may look like I'm moving regular speed, but I'm moving really slowly so that I don't mess up anything, because if you mess up something, you're probably going to mess up the whole design and you're going to have to wipe it off and start all over again. So take your time, go in, draw out your designs. Once you figure out what design you want, then we'll move on to the next step, but don't cure it. Once you finish drawing out whatever design you want with the wet polish, make sure you don't cure it, because we're going to sprinkle some acrylic powder over it. Make sure that you're using a clear acrylic powder so that it does not affect the color of the polish. Once you get a nice, decent layer on it, you're going to tap off the excess powder, put it back in the jar because you can reuse it. Then you're going to put the nail in the lamp and you're going to cure it for at least 60 seconds. I would recommend curing it for a little bit longer just to make sure that that polish is fully cured in that acrylic powder. So if you do mess up, you can go in with the cleanup brush and some acetone and remove whatever you messed up at. And yeah, and so I'm going to do the same thing, just different designs on each finger, but the same technique for the rest of the 4 fingers. And I'll let y'all watch this because it's the same thing. And I'll come back when I'm doing something different or whenever I feel like I need to insert my advice.
Outside in an AMG, right outside, TT, two-turn baby girl, you know me. Still with the dogs that I grew beside. All the niggas round me, right at it die. Gotta watch the time, cause it's flying right by. I'm outside in an AMG, right outside, TT, two-turn baby girl, you know me. All the niggas round me, right at it die. Gotta watch the time, cause it's flying right by. I just caught a shorty off a Finsta. Just the one on hoodie, it's a Crenshaw. Way that I've been living unconventional. I'm just trying to make it to the end, you know. Certain things have started getting closer. Think we need to have a sun adventure. I could be a man, but maybe down the road. Right now, I would rather see my heart turn to chrome. Rather see my heart turn crystal. I can't even front like I don't miss you. Right now, I'm just stuck inside the crib on my own. Soon as I free up, I'm about to pop up on your phone. Like I'm outside in an AMG, right outside, PT, two-turn baby girl, you know me. Who am I? All the niggas round me, right at it die. Gotta watch the time, cause it's flying right by. Two-turn baby girl, you know me.
I'm outside in it.
Right outside, PT, two-turn baby girl, you know me. All the niggas round me, right at it die. Gotta watch the time, cause it's flying right by. Two-turn baby girl, you know me. Yeah.
Now that we've cured all of the nails for at least 60 seconds, we're going to take our dust brush and dust off that excess acrylic powder because everything that we need on the nail is cured down. So you don't want the excess powder on the nail because it essentially is just loose acrylic powder. So we're going to just go in, dust it all off. And then this is the design. I'm just making sure that it's all nice and clean. And we're going to pop them off the stands and start our prep process. So I like to go in and etch the insides of the nails with my e-file. I don't know what speed it is because I don't have numbers. I have dials. So I'm just going to go in, use that. And there's plenty of different reasons why I go in and etch the insides of my nails. One reason that I go in and etch the insides of the nails is to, one, create texture so that the glue has something to stick onto. Two, go in and remove any product that may have slipped under the nail because you do not want to give out wet product to your customers that can cause allergic reactions. And then three, go in and clean up the sidewalls, open up the sidewalls, because sometimes after putting down so many layers of polish, it can make the nail shrink a little bit. So going in with my e-file helps open up the nail so that it does not feel tight when applying it. And I'm just going in and etching the entire inside of the nail. Now that we're done etching the inside of the nails, we're going to take our dust brush and remove the excess dust from the nails, because I'm going to go in next with some acetone and a Q-tip. This is just to clean up the undersides of the nails. You can use alcohol on some nail tips, but I know for other nail tips it can turn white. So to prevent the nails from turning white, I go in with acetone and clean up the undersides of my nails. Now, these nails are for me, so I did have a card. That's why you see the name on the card. This is just a display set that I made for myself. But I will be making this nail set in a ready to ship set if you're interested in purchasing it. But like I said, these nails were for me, so that's why the card looks like that. But if I was to sell it, it wouldn't look like that. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Go check out my other videos, and I'll see y'all in my next one. Bye, y'all.